for fun on Zoom with us. And if you're on social, go ahead and put it in the comments. So chat or comments, depending on where you're joining us today. Put in why you're grateful this Monday. Okay. A lot of people go into Monday and they're like, they have dread and they're resistant and they've got stuff. And we have such a gift in this community. We have such a gift to be able to do work that's on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. We get to do work that contributes good to the world, that creates abundance for ourselves and our lives. So yeah, I would love to hear why, what you're grateful for on Monday. Let's get a gratitude hurricane going in here. It's a new week. Yeah, it's a new beginning, health and great friends and family. I look forward to Mondays because I love what I do and I love weekends also. So it sort of becomes all of it's great, right? We get to live a life. What we're doing here in the Thought Leader Lounge and in Thought Leader Academy and all the places, ideally, is creating life and work that we love, that works for us, and that changes lives, that improves our planet, that brings new thinking, right? Thought leadership to so many people who maybe haven't had the same calling, the same gifts, they haven't been exposed. They're waiting for you. That's actually the message today. There are hundreds and thousands and maybe millions of people that are on their commute and they're wherever they are, and they're searching and waiting for you. They're waiting for you to write the book, to get up on the stage, to switch the Zoom camera, the Instagram, the LinkedIn webinar, whatever it is. They're waiting for you so that they can have their miracle. And that can sound dramatic. It might sound, like hyperbole, but I know it's the truth. I know it's the truth because I work with a lot of you, and I know the results you create for people the clients that you work with, the readers of your books. I know the emails that we receive, that we're so lucky to receive from the people we are so privileged to be able to serve. So I want to hear miracle in the chat. If you're open for this to be a week of miracles for you, miracles for the people that have the gift of finding you. Yes. And we really do get to intentionally create miracles. We can live a life where sometimes the energy, like a lightning storm, just lines up just so, and a miracle happens. And we can also become the people who create miracles consciously. Miracles are the new normal. And that's the life that I'm excited to be creating with you, co-creating, so that we become that miracle in so many other people's lives. So I'm really thrilled that you're here. I'm so honored. If I haven't met you before, I'm Sara Connell, founder of Thought Leader Academy, bestselling author, and have the incredible gift of making sure that amazing individuals like you that have a bigger mission, a bigger story, a bigger impact that they're here to make, just ensuring that you rise up and make it. That's what we're doing in the lounge, in all of our coaching programs, and all of our stuff. So I'm really excited. I can tell I'm a little fired up because it's that fun Monday energy. Think of it like a blank slate, right? I'd love to hear who wrote this weekend. I wrote for 7 hours. It's the first time in a long time that I treated this weekend like part family time and part writing retreat. It was a staycation. I didn't go to a cabin or a room of my own or any of those things. I just made a commitment because I'm excited to get my next book done and out into the world. So W in the chat, if you wrote this weekend, I want to celebrate you. Maybe you took the weekend off and had fun, or you did other stuff. There's no judgment. And if you did write, I want to see, yeah, Allison, you're like, I'm writing every day. I love it. I don't always work on the weekends, but there are times when I really feel called to get into a creative vortex and just go deep. And that was this weekend. So, if you didn't write this weekend and you wanted to, write want in the chat. Corinne, yes, you wrote a chapter in the new horror book. I love it. I love it. If you wanted to write more in the last week, even. Yeah, let's honor the desire. Do you know if desire, which is want, right? Desire, if left unchecked, if we don't get in the way, the desire will actually fulfill the vision. I'll do a whole nother lounge on that because I'm really into that right now. Yeah, we want to write more. I want to write more. I want to finish this book. So this Thursday, in addition to the lounge today, I'm going to be on with all of you that want to come with a free gift. It's a masterclass where I am going to teach you how to get that book done or started. It's weird to say it in that order. Okay. Started or done. If you essentially what we're going to do on Thursday, it's from 2 to 3 Eastern. Yeah, 2 to 3 Eastern. It's completely free. You can bring friends. And what we're going to do is get really clear. I'm going to take you through a framework, a powerful structure I've never taught before. And it's how I got my book project back on track. Because I did want to get it done. I want to get it done this year. I've actually signed a contract to have it done this year. So we'll talk about accountability. And I just wasn't getting the hours in order to move the book forward in the way it needs to. And so I reverse engineered my process that got me not only to a place where I know I'm going to finish the book, but where I'm going to finish it fast. And much more importantly, I am on fire with love. I'm in love with the book. How many of you want to feel excitement and passion? Put P for passion. If you want to feel, you don't just want to slog out a book because you're supposed to, or it's a good idea, or you said you would. F that. How about it's exciting? How about you're in love with it? And I needed to fall back in love with the book. I needed to fall and not just have it be a to-do list. I needed to be in love. It needs to be a love letter. And I refused to put it out until I got back in that energy. And now I'm in that energy. And I am really, really, really excited about how deep I'm digging in myself to bring forth the work. So yeah, so we're going to be doing that on Thursday. Please do come because it's content we've never taught before. It's going to be incredibly powerful. And we know vast amounts of research prove that when we come together as a group, and we get into momentum and we become accountable and we raise our standards for ourselves and what we're going to prioritize in our life, that truly incredible things will happen. You will accelerate. You will take action that you wouldn't have taken otherwise. That's my absolute intention and commitment to you. So I'm really excited. Yeah, it's okay. Some of you are like, I can't be on camera. That's totally fine. All right. Alexis just posted the link in Zoom, and we'll make sure that that's posted on social platforms, those of you streaming in, and you can join us. We just need to have you registered because we've got logistics and tech. It's completely free. Okay. And you can share that link with anybody you want. I want everybody to have the most productive summer of your life. And I'll tell you, those of you that are really, maybe if you're just starting a book, this could still happen for you because I did my last one in 6 weeks. But those of you that are into a book project already, you can finish this book by the end of the month. You can publish your book before the end of the year. So P in the chat, if you would love the vision, like if you think of yourself in that yummy fall outfit, maybe you have a wrap, those great boots, it's gorgeous, trees are turning colors, and you are holding that book in your hand. Okay, that's what I want for you. I want that does get to happen. It's completely possible, but it's only possible if we take action right now. We got to start this week in order to make that timeline work. So we're going to do it together. I'm doing right in the trenches with you, and I'm super excited about that. So grab the link, sign up for that, share the link with a buddy that you can be accountable to. And I'm really, really excited for you guys to join us. And the very next week, right after Memorial Day, Tuesday, the 30th of May through June 2nd, we are going to do Monetize Your Mission. So you get your book done and you start making a lot more financial abundance. Okay. That's coming up. Monetize Your Mission Challenge, also free. And that's coming up the 30th to the 2nd. So put an M in the chat if in addition to getting some major creativity and writing done, you're going to monetize this summer. You're going to really take your income up so that you have all of that abundance flowing in to be able to invest in your book, in your marketing, in your vision, or maybe take your family on a trip, or, pay off a credit card, whatever it is that you want to do. And yeah, we're going to have an awesome, awesome, awesome couple weeks. I am so fired up right now. I just feel like all this energy is coming through. So we're going to go all in. Okay. Let's rub our hands together. So if you haven't trained with me before this, just rubbing our hands together balances out the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Creative and rational, yin and yang, male and female aspects. We're going to integrate integrate, integrate. Just taking a deep breath. Yes, the link for Monetize Your Mission will be sent out to all of you in an email. We're getting that all set. Okay, so I want to know, and this will actually set us up for Thursday's masterclass. What is the book breakthrough that you need? Okay, take a minute and just close your eyes and tune in and see. And when I ask myself what breakthrough I need, it's like, where do I feel stuck? You know, there's been times in my life when I have felt stuck in figuring out my idea, getting really clear. Other times it's been around finding the time to actually write consistently. Other times it's about how to build an audience for the book, where to publish the book, how to use the book to get speaking engagements. I want to know, everybody watching right now, what is it that what is the breakthrough that you are calling forth? Okay, so Beth, a map for the content. Yeah, your book map. Absolutely. More responses from your contributors, Karen. Yep, calling that in. So really think about, okay, Patrick, yours is a script and you want the writer's strike to be over. Yeah, fair enough. Get those shows back in production, get those movies back being greenlit, 100%. We send love to all the writers in the world, you know, standing up for themselves, and yes, getting fairly compensated, especially my husband's in TV and film. That's his entire work, that he does documentaries, TV shows, and, you know, seeing it from the inside and how streaming changed everything, but the writer's compensation sort of got cut, right? So we're going to send everybody love. Yes. Yeah. Courtney, defeating the time and capability gremlins. Absolutely. The breakthrough sometimes is the calls coming from inside the house, right? The breakthrough gets to come in here. Yeah, Allison, being able to pull back enough in the rewrite to see where you need to make. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Corinne, I'm one with you, Courtney. Yep. Yeah. So we're calling in time breakthroughs, confidence breakthroughs, clarity breakthroughs for the content, the organization, the themes. Yeah, there's some themes emerging. Okay, good. Yep, Amy saying, ditto, Courtney, trusting that I keep and cut what creates the breakthrough through it. Yes. A fun technique that I love is, works for fiction, nonfiction, poetry, spiritual books, every kind of book that you could possibly write, or any article or anything at all. Closing your eyes for a moment as you start to write and think, if I was the reader, what would I want this author to write next? If I was the reader, because we are so much in our writer mind, which of course we need to be because we're forming these ideas and words and sentences. But a really neat flip is to ask, if I was the reader, what do I want next? What piece of content, if you're writing nonfiction, what idea or strategy, if you're writing a thought leader book, what plot twist, Courtney, and those of you writing fiction, you know, does my reader want? Trusting that, look, you're going to create a breakthrough for the reader because you're all in. And then just going where you feel led, listening to we talked earlier in the lounge a couple of weeks ago about listening to the nudges, right? So ask yourself, who feels like this could create something new for you in your writing this week? Write new. If that idea of saying, what would my reader, because we know as a reader, like if you're watching a movie, yeah, this is really exciting. We've never talked about this in TLA or the lounge. Like if you're in a movie, watching a movie or a show or reading a book, you know, you're hoping for something, right? You're hoping for either the movie to follow the trope, right? The pattern that it's in. If it's a romantic comedy, you know who you want the woman to end up with, you know who you or the man to end up with, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know who you want the character, the shero or hero to end up with. So in that kind of form, you might be rooting for the predictable. You might be just hoping it ends happily and they get together when he's running through the rain and the train station and the whatever is happening, right? But sometimes maybe you're hoping that an author is just going to surprise you, shock you, startle you. If you've ever read Flannery O'Connor without knowing what Flannery O'Connor is famous for, you will be shocked, right? She's a very Catholic, proper Southern woman writing decades ago. And if you haven't read, her book, her short stories, especially, buckle up, because it is not going to go where you think it's going to go. It's shocking, right? In an amazing way. Like, I love her for that. I love her. So asking, what would the reader, and if you don't know how, instead of freaking out, this is a great thing to buddy up with someone. Come on Thursday, like call someone in Thought Leader Academy. Those of you that are training with us, like, you can also play the game with yourself called 6 ideas. Okay. If you ever get stuck in the content, you can say, what are 6 ways I could go next? What are 6 places I could go next? What are 6 ways I could organize this content? And usually your first 1 or 2 are going to be pretty predictable. You might want that. Like I said, I don't go to a romantic comedy hoping that it's going to be a tragedy and really depressing. I want to go out feeling good, hearing some songs. Maybe they're going to dance. I don't know. That's all I want. But in other works of literature, I want something to shock me, surprise me, make me think a different way. So you can play the 6 ways game. It can be how to end your book. And by the way, this is not just for fiction. All of us writing, I'm writing a thought leader book right now. I still get to figure out an exciting ending. I still get to figure out my favorite writing session of the weekend was Saturday morning. I had a pretty boring, predictable first thought way of entering my 2nd chapter. It was like, fine, nothing wrong with it. I'm sure no one would have like hated the book or put it down. It would have been fine, but it wasn't exciting. So I just said, well, I'm going to play 6 ways. I'm going to come up with 6 different ways I could start this chapter. And by the time I got to 3, I was wildly excited. You guys will see when you read it. I hope you are too. But I got really excited because an idea I never would have thought of ever sort of popped in. And I thought, yes, that's how I want to enter this chapter. We teach in Thought Leader Academy the framework, SSS, your story, the situation, the solution, as a great way to set up a book. I'm still doing SSS, but my second S was like, it was just fine. It was very expected. And now, to me at least, it feels fresh. It feels provocative. It feels unexpected in a certain way because it's not exactly like I start other chapters. And I'm hoping that that's going to make the book vibrant and interesting and have people want to, like read even more deeply. Okay. So I've given you 2 things today that I'm going to offer you to play with this week in whatever it is that you're writing, or if you're doing a talk, you're doing a marketing email, these all work for everything. Think about a marketing email. The first thought, I'm just going to tell someone about this thing that's coming up. Okay. What are 5 other ways? That's 1 out of 6. What are 5 other ways you could start that email? Could be a video if you don't usually do them. Could be a poem. You could sing something. You could use a quote, a startling statistic, right? We want to keep, when we're fresh and engaged, our audience, our reader, our clients will be fresh and engaged. So the 2 things to play with this week in reverse order are 6 ways. Anytime you come to a crossroads in what you're writing, you could say, what are 6 different ways I could approach this next moment? And what's going to happen is the first 1 or 2 is like, yeah. And then somewhere between 3 and 6, you're likely going to get a surprise. And if you're surprised and delighted, as will your audience be, as will your reader be, right? The other game, you can play 1 or both of these, is what would my reader want me to do? If I was reading this book, what would I want the writer to do next? It takes us out of our own kind of calcified thinking, and it gets us into, what would be another way? There's times I've changed the trajectory of whole short stories. There's a story in my fiction book, Ghost House, that was, again, it was fine. I really liked the prose. I liked the actual writing that I did, but the plot was so. And I said, God, if I was reading this collection, what would I want? And I wanted a Flannery O'Connor moment. I don't know if I fully achieved it, but I definitely did something that surprised myself, surprised my agent. She was like, holy shit, I didn't, wow, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Give me something different, right? And this works in every kind of fiction, nonfiction that we do. Any kind, you can do it in a poem. What would I want the next line to be? Like I said, market sales sequence. Okay, I'm writing, let's say Beth is going to launch a new program for her clients. She could say, the way I normally do it is I, write these emails and I do this. Well, great. Do all of that. And then say, what are 5 other ways? And it might be a tiny little subtle tweak, or it might be a whole new sort of way into the main content's not going to change. I'm still talking in chapter 2 of my book about all the things I was already going to talk about, but it's a new way in. So I want to hear so what's landing for you? Let's hear in the chat. What are you going to play with this week? Are you going to ask, what would my reader want me to do here? Or if it's for marketing emails, what would my ideal client? Yeah, or 6 ways. What are 6 different ways I could set up this course? And Beth, for you with your book map. Yeah, what are 6 different ways? Like I could map it with my program. I could do it more narrative with more personal stories. I could make it an interview, but I mean, there's 6 ways. Yeah, Christy, I love it. I love the 6 ways. And I'm telling you, this is something that we did a lot of in my master's program for creative writing. And it's really exciting to get out of first thought, right? Because everyone's having the same first thought, right? All of us are connected. And this is something people do in improv. I don't act, but people that are in the theater world will know this game. 6 ways. You don't go with first thought, right? Yes, and add something to it. Yeah. Yeah. Great ways to get those out of and it gets you out of your head, Patrick. Exactly. When you who felt physically different? Let's try it together. Call to mind the project you're working on or want to start this week if you're starting one, okay? Just call to mind the topic or the idea. And at this moment, you're standing in the position of you as author, as creator. And just for fun, sort of shift in your chair. I won't stand up just because it'll make it look weird. You'll be looking at, my navel or something. But you can think about what would my reader want me to do next? What would my audience want me to do next? And just see if your body feels differently when it's you thinking of what you're going to do next versus what would my reader want me to do next? If I was reading this book, what would I want the author to write next? Take like 3 breaths into that. Did anyone put me in the chat or the comments if you felt physically different between when you're the author and when what would I want this author to do next? Just see if you even physically felt different. Yeah, you breathed, Courtney. Yeah, I feel almost like this surrender. I went like soft. I went parasympathetic when I think about what the reader would want, the audience would want. Now, of course, there's a caveat here. It doesn't mean you change if it's not authentic. I'm not talking about, making your book for someone else or not making it authentic, right? We always, always, always stay authentic. It's more just like, hey, I have maybe a kind of expected way that I would go next. And maybe there's something really exciting. Maybe there's something a little bit different. These can be a teeny nuance, like, oh, I'm going to put a quote here to open this section. Or suddenly I'm thinking about that time with my grandmother. Again, I'm going to throw that story in here. That could be interesting. It kind of actually does thematically, Allison, like you're talking about theme, it does thematically line up. So super powerful. And these things can make the difference between a good piece of writing and a great piece of writing. Good book, great book. Good email, amazing email. These tiny little, Karen, yeah, you got the hit. You want more me. When I tuned into this over the weekend, one of the things I got was that the reader wants me to really keep affirming to them throughout the whole book that it's possible, that what I'm sharing is possible for them. It can happen for them. So it's really nice for me to keep that in mind now with every chapter. It's like, is someone going to leave this moment, this paragraph, this page, this chapter saying, yes, freaking yes, I feel empowered. I feel inspired. I can do it. Yeah, so good. I'm really, oh yes, Corinne, you're like, I'm ready to start outlining on the whiteboard. Yeah. So that's what we're going to play with this week, getting out of first thought, putting ourselves in the mindset of who we're writing for so we can be of massive service, and thinking of new ways and ideas, whether it's how to end a paragraph or create a whole book, right? We can use 6 ways and what would the reader want me to do next at any juncture, micro, macro in a project, and it will elevate your writing. It will take you to exciting places. They say, no surprise in the reader, no surprise in the writer, right? And vice versa. So when you're inspired and passionate and elevated, that is the energy that your reader will feel. So I want to hear how many of you can come on Thursday. Put T in the chat. If you're going to come on Thursday or watch the recording, you can register and get the replay if you have something at 2 to 3 Eastern time. And okay, good. So there's the link again. And I want to invite us, before we end the lounge today, to make a commitment of what you're going to do between now and Thursday. So you can say 6 ways. You're going to play the 6 ways game. You're going to ask that question today when you write of what would my reader want me to do next. Maybe you're going to commit to write 1 time between now and Thursday. Maybe, like me, you're going to commit to write every day between now and Thursday, because I am on a mission to finish this book. So I'm in a write every day mode right now. Yeah. Karen, you're going to write write a personal chapter. I love that. Amy, you're going to join me and write every day this week. I love it. Love it. Love it every day. Dawn. Ooh, this is juicy. This is going to be so good. Christy's going to write every day. Write. Yeah. Patrick, you're going to ask, what does my client want to hear? Exactly. Every day till you send it to your publisher muse, Allison. Yes. Beautiful. Me too. That's my publisher too, as you know. And I'm very committed to getting outlining the chapter, Corinne. Awesome. Fantastic. Really good. Let's be powerful. It is Monday. It is a brand new week. We can have the most productive and successful week of our lives. So claim an energy. As we end the lounge today, let's end on an energy. Do you want your energy this week to be clarity? You're going to put clarity. If you want it to be focus. I think I'm going to put prolific, because I've got a lot between the writing and our events coming up. I have a lot of writing to do. So what is the energy you're going to claim for yourself? This is the energy that you're going to move in this week, and you get to ask for it and receive it right here and now. Focus, Dawn. Clarity, Beth. I love this. Focus, Courtney. Focused and abundant, Patrick. Yes. Paige is going to do emails. Christy, you're going to do single-minded focused. I love that. Get it out of you, Corinne. Clarity, Karen. Beautiful. And we sometimes forget how much agency we actually have. We get to decide what kind of a week it's going to be. Stuff can come, emails. I just felt my phone while we're on the lounge, like buzzing. I don't know what's on there, but here's the deal. I'm going to be prolific either way. You get to say so. You get to co-create with the power of the universe and say what kind of week it's going to be. It's going to be a great week, because we have to start it together, and then we're going to be together on Thursday. And we're going to do a really, really cool process around getting aligned on all levels and getting super actioned and massive momentum to start or finish your book. Yeah. Prolific, Corinne. Yeah. Just you're writing a ton. You're writing a lot. It's like volumes, right? You've got lots, right? I used to see people who I told you all this, a book a year. And I was so envious. I mean, I was so happy for them. And I was just like, oh, I want to be prolific. I want to write a book every year. And now I can. Now I do. But it took me 10 years to write a book previously. So mostly because of gremlins, and I wasn't writing. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't think I had time. All the stuff, right? And so so right now I'm really focused on, prolific writing, which means volumes of writing, quantity of writing, with the quality, of course, right? Okay, really, really good. Favorite moment of today. What are you taking with you before we end, so we can lock it into your cells, lock it into your conscious, subconscious mind? Producing much fruit, Dawn. Yes, prolific. Good, Alicia. You're joining me. Yeah, focus and being prolific. Yeah, Karen, you're thinking what the reader wants from you. Great. 6 different ways. So you now have strategy. You've got momentum. You've got your energy you're riding in. And then we're going to be together Thursday, 2 to 3 Eastern, so that we can really make it happen this summer. Your reader can't wait anymore. They just can't. They need you. They need the book. They need your emails. They need your blog, whatever it is that you're writing. You don't have to just be doing a book, of course, but your people need you. And so we're going to come together Thursday and make sure that they get their miracle. All right. You guys are amazing. You're amazing. Let's give each other some high tens, some heart hands. Those of you on social streaming in, we want to hear your comments. So put anything you want to comment from today. And I'm sending you all so much love. We're going to rock. It's going to be an amazing week. Let's do it. Woo! See you in a few days.